Good evening, everyone here from Adelaide. Myself in the broadcast booth, but we are watching over some BMWs here. It is the M Sports Cup here with Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. We're at the Spa-Francorchamps, and 7 kilometers long this circuit is, and the BMWs will have a lot of work to find around here. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities for them as well. So hopefully they can put on a bit of a show for us around here. They've got 40 minutes of racing, which will have one compulsory pit stop for them, as well as the qualifying. Just seems to be coming up to the finishing point now. So if we'll have a look at the championship standings after round number 3, it is John Merritt on top from Funslow and Guy Leach in third. The top 3. Bit of separation in points there with Merritt out front. He's got a bit of a gap after 2 early dominant rounds wins, but Chris Hens, Luke King, Baz, Dyson, Adams and Brookfield are the 10 there as well. Dyson's definitely one to watch. If we can get the qualifying order potentially up at some point on the stream, we'll be able to see that he's actually on pole position here tonight for this 40-minute race around Spa-Francorchamps. So we'll hopefully get the weather up as well in a moment, but I just want to welcome in the booth doing all of the broadcasting. It is Andrew Neal. Thank you. How are you, Andrew?
Hey, good, Jordan. Good to be here. Exciting night of racing ahead.
Yes, hopefully another exciting round. We've had Virginia, Okayama, and Road America so far. Road America was probably the spiciest we've had so far. A little bit of action there towards the end. Obviously, the championship leader getting in a bit of a crash and taking himself out of the race. So he'll be hoping to start from with a stronger leg on in this race. And with the one compulsory pit stop as well, there'll be definitely a bit of strategy in play with this, but at the moment, not getting anything up on the screen here. Here we go. We can finally have a look at our weather tonight. So you can see on screen 20 degrees, 65 humidity. It is a bit cloudy with the wind at 11 kilometers. It's you can see the track temp on the right side is at 22, just changing 23 degrees actually as well. And I'll see some overcast as well coming in potentially. So maybe some changing weather conditions for them with some cloud coverage, but it's Dyson and Merritt on the front row, Haynes and Leach behind them with McCrowan and King on the third row. Heppel and Baz, Baker and Funslow, they round out the top 10 here. On the next screen, if we can flick to that, we will have Jeff Adams and Richard King on the 6th row, Brookfield and Hen, Maverick Benson, an old rival of mine in my go-karting days, alongside Nick Wood. You can see Adam Laves and Gary Cousins back here as well, Rowan Capadia and Hilton both out on the 10th row here. So pretty stacked field, a lot of drivers out here. Dale Sharp and Thornweger also on track tonight. Bradbury and Daniels, Hambley, Heinrich, Wakefield, Ong, Greg Heaney, the boss man, and Russell Gander as well. There are 30 here, and I think we might have just a couple more than 30 just on the back out here. You can see Quentin de Klerk, Aaron Bryan, and Adam Raffy as we get ready to go here at Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps. The drivers are all ready to go. We'll just have to wait for the lights to show up. We can see someone keen, ready to go with their headlights flashing out the back. But Dyson and Merritt, they are on the front row. Merritt's your championship leader going into this. Funslow, he's second. He's starting 10th as well in this one. You can see Guy Leach, 4th on the grid. He's 3rd in the standings. Don't forget this. As we look to the lights, the drivers will be all focused, ready to go, just like us here in the commentary booth. As we look at the lights, they are a go here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps here. 40 minutes plus the one compulsory pit stop in the BMW N Sport Cup with Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Andrew Dyson has gotten the hot shot out of the booth, and it is ahead of Merritt out of turn 1. Haynes is up into 3rd place. McCrowan is a black flag further back in 16th place there for Nick Wood, but the top two are already trying to open up the gap. But the run down here up Eau Rouge and over Radion, over the top of the hill will the field come. Try and keep it neat, but they got the whole straight line down here until the right and left chicane down at the end. So a big moment here for slipstreaming all throughout the race, and you can see right on the bumper now, Guy Leach in 5th place behind McCrowan, giving a bit of a bump draft into the right-hander up here. Not going to make a move here, and it will keep nice and steady, as seems like everyone has hopped into their carriage of the train, and doesn't seem to be too much drama going over the field here. Everyone's nice and neat, which is exactly what we want to see. We can see Heaney, I think he's just had a bit of an off further back, as he's just dropped back a position down, just keeping in the 30. He's in 29th at the moment. Guy Leach on the screen here through No Name corner, the left-hander will head down to Pouon here. It'll be a fast left-hander for these BMWs. A new recent addition into iRacing. Still a lot of practice needs to be done for these drivers in these cars, but like I said, the front two, they're the ones where the pace will be tonight, and they're already trying to step away from the field. Dyson is our leader here, just 3/10 ahead of John Merritt in 2nd place. He'll be hoping for a clean one. Dyson, he's obviously a little bit down in the standings. He's had a did not race in the first round, so just once we'll obviously get a little bit later into the championship, we'll see the drop rounds all come into effect. But at the moment, he's a little bit down in the standings with an 8th place, but he's on the return here at Spa with a back-to-back heat win at Road America last week. 2 wins in the United States of America. He'll be hoping to lead it again in Belgium tonight, as he makes a little bit of a mistake there, rounding out the end of lap number 1. And with 40 minutes of racing here and some long laps around, 2 minutes 41 on lap 1. We're doing 2 minutes 38 in qualifying, so we do expect them to obviously bring that pace down a little bit more, and we expect them to do around 15 laps. Obviously the pit stop will potentially play equation into that, but we'll obviously dial out that a little bit closer towards the end of the race as we do get there. But only 3 minutes in at the moment. The time will tick over quite quickly for the amount of laps here. Obviously only 15 laps, but it's a 7-kilometer long circuit. So like I said at the top, there is potential for a lot of action to happen around here. A couple of yellows you can see on the side for Cousins and Hamley, so they seem to have potentially had a bit of an off track. I'd love to notice to know what Wood's black flag is, if we can ever get a replay up of that and see also what the mid-pack was like going into turn 1, and see how they dealt with also going up the hill. Because at the front they were very clean and neat, but in the back I'm sure there was definitely some side-by-side action. But still, with Dyson leading the way, they've slightly opened up the gap to Oscar Haynes in 3rd. He's trying to keep up at the moment, but just a little bit off the pace at the moment. He only done a 2:42 on the opening lap, but again, it's the opening lap. The pace will come down, but you can see he's not quite keeping up. He's 1.1 seconds behind John Merritt here at the moment. And just trying to have a look at some early movers in on lap 1 and the first lap and a half here, actually. Aaron Bryan, he's down in 24th at the moment, but he's up 7 positions in the Code 9 eSports car, and it was probably most likely a jump start for Nick Wood. You are correct. We'll see that now. Bottom of the screen in that blue and purple car. I didn't notice a jump start myself there, unless I missed that. Oh, yes, sorry. he did definitely jump start that one. So unfortunate for Nick to make that mistake directly off the start line. That will cost him dearly. Sorry, my throat's just decided to not be nice to me then, and have a little cough. I've decided to grab my water bottle in case it wants to happen again, as we just see Russell Gander and his way of managing turn one here with the traffic all around him out at the back of the pack there. But Nick Wood will obviously have to deal with that penalty. It's probably just a drive through, and that'll happen a little bit later. Dale Sharp's already dropped into the pits. He's down 11 spots now into 32nd. I didn't quite catch what position he was as he headed into the pits, but he's out now at 10.4 in the box. So that's an early number for us to keep an eye with on the stop times. 10.42 was what Dale Sharp stopped with. I think Heppel might have had a slowdown as well as he's come up and over the hill at Erosion Radion, because there was a car just slowing down on the inside line down the main straight here, and I think that might have been Heppel. There's a couple of yellows against some of these drivers' names at this point and time, but Aaron Bryant, like I said, he's moved up a couple of spots. Seemed like he's in a battle with Hao Ong further back in the pack. I could see their name just moving on my SDK screen at the moment, as we can pull them up now, and you can see Ong on the outside here, and that's a different livery if I've ever seen one. I like that. Just a bit of a comic character on the side. I'm not familiar with what that is. I thought that was maybe Fallout 4 originally, but I could be wrong. Andrew, I'm not sure if you know.
I got no idea, mate.
No idea. Well, it says Creed, so I don't know. I think of the boxing character when I see Creed, but honestly not sure. It also looks like the video game Adventure Capitalist, if people know that. Yeah, it's got a different picture, but he's nearly under pressure here into the right-hander after Puon. He holds on for position 22 at the moment. Apparently it says he's out of Georgia, United States of America on screen just there on the bottom left. So if that is true, he's definitely not in a normal time zone for what we're used to. Oh, what happened there with Kingy up the inside? That was not an execution of a move you would want to take. Big mistake there. And that will already take him down to 30th position. And hopefully he doesn't drop out of the race with that one. Hopefully we'll see King still continue. Still 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute race. Still 30 minutes just about left in this race. We're at 8 minutes 15 now. And still Dyson that has led every single corner at this moment ahead of John Merritt. I haven't seen a change, but Merritt's just probably saving a little bit of fuel in at this point, just already locking in for that moment later on in the race, trying to save something, see if he can get that jump over Dyson later on in the race. We can also see Heppel with a black flag down in the field, as he's just in 20th position, and Nick Wood has gotten rid of his black flag. Heppel here, obviously, a little bit of damage on the car. That's not going to be aero efficient anymore. We'll have to see if we can pull that one up on a replay, as we see Adam Laves pull a move off on Capadia in the right-hander. That's a nice move. He's up into 13th position. Some will say that's an unlucky number. For me, that's the day of the month that my birthday falls on. So for me, it's a lucky number, and hopefully for Adam, it'll be a lucky position for him as he hopes to move up the field. He's 4.2 seconds off Maverick Benson at the moment in position number 12.
So Heppel's front end was when he had the accident with Richard King.
King, yes, okay. I wasn't sure if that was the other car involved, but yes, thank you for confirming that one. So Laves leads from Capadia there as we switch back over towards the leaders here on screen. Still Dyson leading the way, and I think we've seen this battle before here in the BMWs with Dyson and Merritt out front. Merritt's obviously a great set of hands, just as much as Dyson. I think he's one of the fastest drivers here in GSRC, definitely showing that pace tonight in this early stage. They've opened up that gap behind to 2.3 seconds between Merritt and Haynes. So Oscar doesn't quite have the pace, but he's still got Daniel McCrowan in behind in the team Max Boost BMW. And Guy Leach, he's just a second back as well. And that's your top 5 as they come around and finish lap number 4 here in the BMW M Sport Cup.
Haynes and McCrowan going to have to work together to try and catch back up to that pack of Dyson and Merritt. Well, obviously trying to separate a bit from the field there as well, Jordan.
Yes, but that's definitely going to be hard with the pace that Dyson and Merritt have. 2:38.5 for Dyson, 38.6 for Merritt. Haynes and McCrowan, 39.2 and a 39.1. They're Leach has done a 39.7 on the last lap, but his best of this race is a 38.9. He's got King just in behind on 39 flat, so they'll be trying to pull away from the others behind as King and Leach, I think, battling a little bit at the moment. See Heppel, he gets a penalty for the contact with Richard King. 25 seconds of a penalty for Heppel. That's not going to do him any good by the end of this race in 30, or what's that now, 29, about 28 minutes time, and we're still potentially on par for that 15 lap. So we'll obviously see once other drivers also make their pit stops what will happen and how the strategy will play out. See Heppel's in the pits at the moment, hopefully getting that car repaired. Obviously Sharp has done that pit stop early. That was 10.4 if you can remember that, and King has also done the stop after his incident with Heppel there. King was only 9.8 on the stop, while Heppel, he was 49.9 in the box. We look at Jeff Adams here on screen in 11th place, out behind Richard Brookfield, who is the holder of the back end of the top 10, which is a position Adams will be hoping to get himself into. As the field just in front of them is led with Hen and Funslow. Baz is also just slightly there, but he's just a little bit ahead. He's got, what, 8-9 tenths of a gap, so just holding on to the back end of 7th place. So there's potentially 5 in this battle, but the 2 closest, obviously, in this little pack here are Brookfield and Adams. And Adams at the moment, just trying to find where he is in the standings. He's 9th, but he had a DNF in the last race at Road America, and that was on the following of a P8 in Heat 1 there at last week, sorry, on the Wednesday. So he'll be hoping to get a little bit of a better result than an 8th and a DNF, and obviously in the single result tonight, if he can crack into the top 10, I think that's probably a better overall result than a P8 and a DNF. But Merritt at the moment still just sitting in behind Dyson. I think he's just playing the fuel game at the moment, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Field game, just trying to get a bit more of a gap before he starts battling Andrew Dyson, which will end up a nice spicy run to the end, I reckon.
They've still got plenty of time to decide when they want to make the call for the pit stop. I'm not sure how big the tanks are in these cars, so we'll just see on the fly at what point they do decide to stop. There's a little bit of a cut by Brian in front. He'll get a slowdown, as we can see, a 5-second penalty for Tony Baker for an unsafe rejoin with Adam Laves. So that's an unfortunate little penalty for Baker. Hopefully he can try and just work against that and know that he's got 5 seconds against him in this race, and just push that a little bit more and see what he can do, and just try and I've lost the word that I was gonna say, but try and have it not affect him as much. It's not what I wanted to say. It doesn't sound as good and professional as what I wanted, but yeah, those things happen sometimes. Oscar Haynes here on screen, still with McCrowan in behind, so I think he's still playing the same game as Merritt is with Dyson, but mind you, they're potentially still trying to open up that gap to King, but King's seeming to close that back in. Haynes and McCrowan are 39.7s on the last lap. King a 39.1. We can see Funzo's got a no further action for Racing Room with Tony Baker. We'll see what this is. This just seems to be a retirement here from Adam Raff. So it seems to be, yes, had enough. He's been called away by someone else, but yeah, that's unfortunate for Adam to say no more tonight around Spa. It's a great circuit. Obviously, runs the 24 hours around here. Is McCrowan nearly getting into the rear bumper of Haynes there, nearly making a mistake, and but holding on nicely. Is that really pushing the limits here through Blanchimont? This pack here is what, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's Cousins, Bradbury, Daniels, and who was that that's just dove into the pits behind? I think that was Nick Wood, yes. So Woody's into the pits here, so we'll see what his time is. A lot of the times, and mind you, we said Sharp was a 10.4. That was the early number. The lowest number now is with Hilton Booth at 9.3 in the pit stop. So we'll have to try and I'll see if I can try and remember Nick Wood and the battle against who he was going against when he's entered the pit stop. But he was 9.1 in the box. So he's now heading back out onto the circuit now. Haynes is still holding on, but King is closed up, and that's also helping Guy Leach just come back into the battle. Haynes and McCrowan, I think they were just a side-by-side moment ago in the background. But Haynes is still holding on, but he seems now to be under pressure. It seems now to be that McCrowan and King are wanting to find a way past. I think Haynes might have to make the better decision if he and it will be to give up a position or potentially two, stay on the bumper of those guys and let them carry him up, and he can save fuel instead of leading them and letting the other guys also save fuel. Because as much as he's checking up the other guys, so they're also saving up fuel. That's what it seems to be at the moment. But if McCrowan can get in front, and as well as King, that'll definitely give Haynes some fuel to save on that one, Andrew.
Absolutely. Luke King's known for saving fuel, so we'll see how he goes sitting in the back there. But the more McCrowan and Haynes fight, you can see Guy Leach closing the gap and joining that same battle pack as well. A good one.
Yes. I also want to keep an eye then on that gap then down behind to Baz. 3 seconds at the moment. Will that close up at all? He's done a 39.3 on the last lap. The others were a 39.7, 39.6, 39.5, 39.2. Those are the four cars that are on screen here. Those were the lap times they done on the last lap. And you can see them also just popping up at the bottom of your screen here. And just the difference in lap times between the couple of drivers. There's some pretty cool information for you to glance at. Haynes still holds on to position number 3, the bronze position at the moment, from McCrowan, King and Leach, as they're now tucking in for another slipstream run up the hill and down the straight here. As we head to the Lacoon corners down towards the back end of straight. Haynes doesn't look like he's going to be under pressure here. He's seeming to be just with a little bit of pressure applied. Is McCrowan going to look for the move? He was not going to. He seemed to be closing up quite a bit towards the back end of the straight there, as we now come through 7, 8 and 9 down the hill. Baz behind. That gap is 2.8. Now down to 2.7. So it is potentially closing down as well to others behind. So maybe, like I said, might be wise for Haynes to tuck in behind and see if McCrowan and King can take him up. But King also, like you said, Andrew, he might just want to be staying here in position number 5 and saving fuel. It's definitely one of the big games that gets played around here at this long circuit. To save a full lap of fuel as well is a bit of a stretch sometimes. I'm not sure what it's like in these BMWs with with some lift and coast and whatnot, because I've never driven these and I'm never going to, because you've probably heard in the past what I think of a BMW. But again, these guys, they know what they're dealing with here, so they'll know when that's to happen. Is Nick Wood still dealing with pressure? He's had a rough time of it from the get-go. Now, worst time of it at the top of the hill. He'll have to do a long lap around to go get that car repaired after that incident. 2x2 up the hill is something that's very rarely going to work, and that front left is absolutely butchered nearly.
He's got another crash coming up here, so whether it's just that his car doesn't turn and he pulls over and tows
no.
I think that's what he does.
I hope it's just a tow, or does he just drive up and stop it, or did he attempt? I think he's just going to stop it here. He does. Yeah.
Stopped it nice and safe off the line.
Yeah. So very gentlemanly to get completely out of the way. Probably a good 100 meters off the circuit into the runoff area there. But that's unfortunate. Obviously having the jump start right at the get-go. And now only just before halfway, so we're 18 minutes out of this 40-minute race, is unfortunately done back to the pits. Hopefully we'll see him back out on track. So we pull up a replay of Greg Heaney here in the Whiskey Business Racing with Project X as a sponsorship, as he dives into the pits and just cuts off the nose of the cars behind. That was lucky to get away with that one and not get speared into the wall. But if it was to happen, at least it was to happen when he's entering pit lane. So the battle for third is seeming to spice up here. McCrowan has found his way through on Oscar Haynes. Luke King is still sitting in 5th, and Leach is in 6th place. Baz is still trying to close up. It's still at 2.7, but McCrowan now into the bronze position ahead of Oscar Haynes. Team Max Boost up and trying to max boost their way into a podium position. And result here, still just under 20 minutes to go. I think that's 18 minutes to go, so I might have made a mistake on just a moment ago when I seen the other 18 on screen. So there's 18 minutes left, 17 minutes now, as McCrowan is up into third. He looked like he had some pace a handful of laps ago. Can he now use that with the clean air in front of him? He's got 7 seconds of a gap to Merritt in front of him. So he is clean as you can wish in front. And hopefully he can use that pace. And now Haynes will try and save some fuel, but he'll also have to try and keep up at the same time. So it'll be a catch-22 moment for him. Do I push and keep up with third and try and stay in that battle for the end part of the race after the pit stops, or does he just stick to his pace, potentially drop off of McCrowan and potentially drop out of the battle for third? The slipstream at the moment is still holding him on. Oh, and McCrowan's wide. We see a pit stop there for King. Now that's got Haynes back in contention for third. McCrowan's mistake into the bus stop nearly took him out of third, as we see King just dive into the pits, get out of that battle, hop back into clean air. Potentially is Haynes now under pressure from the outside of Leach. Leach is not going to get the move done at turn 1 there. He'll get the run down up the long straight here, up Eau Rouge and Radion, and then the Kemmel straight down into Lacombe. doesn't seem like at the moment he got a good acceleration out of turn 1, but as we climb the hill, it is Haynes closer to McCrowan. McCrowan's maybe feeling the pressure from behind now as he leads this group. We'll have to see, of course, now where King will dice out compared to him, but Haynes up the inside into turn number 7. Will he clear, or is McCrowan going to hold it? He tried to hold it, but he'll tuck in behind the rear bumper of the 644 and go for another run of looking under that rear wing. Doesn't want to stay there too long, already looking for the move and just seeing if he can apply some mental pressure in front. And Haynes, I think, went a little bit wide there, and he leaves the door open for the black BMW behind. 574, that is. No move here through No Name. Into Pouon we come. The battle for third continues on. This is where a lot of this race is seeming to fold around over the last 15 minutes, especially since the front two decided to just check out and say goodbye to everybody else. Dyson and Merritt now nearly 9 seconds ahead of this group for third as they still battle on. But King, his pit stop was 7.4 in the box, so that was absolutely blinding quick for Mr. King. Is that going to help him in the battle later on? Was that all about fuel saving? Was that all in? Was all that time there at the pit stop saved just by taking less fuel? We'll have to see later on. He's in 14th at the moment as he just comes up on screen. He's behind Gary Cousins, the Aussie Racers car in front of him. That's the blue BMW. King now tucking into the stream.
It'll be interesting
a little
to
bit
see
of
how
clean
Luke
air
King goes with the fuel genies in the pack, because that is a lightning fast pit stop. And
it is lightning fast.
So
if he can get past Cousins, he's got clean air. That's what I was just about to say before you chimed in. But now he does get that move into bus stop. King's got the clean air. How can he use this? What is that pace properly now in clean air? As we can see, Leach and McCrowan have dived into the pits in that one. So Haynes has just been left out alone now. So McCrowan in the pits, and here he is exiting. Here he is exiting. Not ahead of King, right behind. So has King done enough here to jump those guys and potentially be in a net P3 here as we climb up the hill? So King has found something. McCrowan was 8.1 in the box. King 7.4. So what's that? 7/10 he's got just in the pit box. We'll have to see what Oscar Haynes will do. Is he going to try and pit this lap and try and cover off those others that just pitted now, as we see no further action for car 151. That was sharp for Racing Room and a contact with car 308 Nick Wood. That was on lap number 8 of this race. So we're now on lap number 11, 28 minutes in, so 12 minutes left. It's still Dyson that leads this race, and it's still John Merritt in second place with the Lexus of Melbourne Pulse tuning behind the DPR Racing car. They are now 11, nearly 11 and a half seconds in the lead. So they could absolutely dice this out in the last couple of laps and not worry at all about the gaps behind them.
Pardon the pun, Jordan.
What was the pun that I said? I didn't even realise.
Dice it out, Dyson.
I didn't even.
Dyson is dicing it out.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Didn't even notice it. Just straight over my head there. That went out in ear one, out in one ear, out the other. Oh my god, I lost my mouth then. We come through the bus stop and finish off another lap here at Spa-Francorchamps. Andrew leads the way over John Merritt as we come back towards Leach. Remember, he's now just taken a pit stop, and he was in that battle for position number 3 with McCrowan and King. He's unfortunately dropped back quite a bit. His stop was 9.6, McCrowan was 8.1, so he lost a substantial amount of time as he pitted at the same time as McCrowan in the Team Max Boost car. But Leach up the inside at the bus stop as they make a pit stop behind. That is Cousins and Steve Daniels and How Ong. They make a pit stop. There's a few others. Actually, Haynes now into the pits. Where's he going to hop out as King's now just coming through turn 1. We should see Haynes in a moment. Says he's on track. There he is in the background. He's just popped out on track behind McCrowan and King there. So King now up into the net P3. He's got a little bit of a gap here, 7 tenths to McCrowan. Haynes is 2.2 seconds now off, so he's out of that battle as we'll see him potentially come around the guardrail now onto the back into the background of the screen. He's now in 9th place. And Leach in 10th, so that group is slightly broken up from the pit stops. McCrowan still keeps himself in contention for this net P3. Now it's just behind a different car, behind a different BMW, and is now behind Luke King. And you said earlier, Andrew, that Luke is great on saving the fuel. Now he needs to go use that fuel as he now is the one in clean air.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and McCrowan might work together to try and pull back some pace on the leaders and get themselves a bit of a better undercut on the guys that are still to cleanse through the pit. See if there's fighting to be had between the two or if they're going to work together.
Well, they'll probably try and work together to initially open up this gap to the cars behind. I doubt that I've got full doubt that these guys are going to catch up to Merritt and Dyson, unfortunately. I think that's just the way it is. Merritt and Dyson just seem to be too quick. Their best laps are a 38.5 and a 38.7. Their last laps they've done out front were a 39 flat and a 39.1. If you're looking at King and McCrowan here, their best laps are a 39.7 and a 39.1, so nearly a full second slower than the other guys in front. McCrowan not as much. Obviously King's been saving some fuel, but on the last lap King was a 39.9. So as we now see the front all come into the pits. Yes, Andrew, that's correct. Dyson, Merritt, Baz, Funslow, Hen, Brookfield all dive right mid bus stop into pit lane. So I bet Dyson and Merritt will still come out in front. Merritt's had a quicker pit stop, 8.3 versus Dyson's 8.5. Dyson is still ahead. Merritt couldn't find anything in the pit stop and he's right on the bumper now. Is he going to try and apply the pressure immediately out of the pit stop, up the hill and down the Kemmel straight into turn 7 and 9 at the end of the straight? Dyson really eating up the curb on entry. Eating up the curb on exit as well. No slowdown for him. That looked very tight there for Andrew in the DPR racing car, but Merritt not close enough to apply pressure immediately. Fresh off the pit stop. He's still tucked in behind and they've got 9.5 seconds in front, trying to look in the right hand mirror of Dyson in front and see if he can just scare him, but I don't think you're going to be able to scare Dyson out of this one. As you can see, the intervals come up at the top of the screen with some support here by merch.t GSRC.inc BMW M Sport Cup. This is, of course, and as you can see, the onboards are brought to you by Disruptive Labs. Their support is greatly appreciated here at the club. The Merritt will now have to continue on sitting behind Dyson and keep saving fuel. See if he can find a way past Andrew in front and the 000 cars. We now come back to third. McCrowan's got himself up in front of King. King didn't want to lead Daniel around, and he's decided to just drop back into fourth, or maybe Daniel's decided I want to try and get away from King. We'll see the move here as a replay. It looks like King was slightly on a defensive, and McCrowan is going for an outside move at turn 7. He doesn't clear him on entry. You can see King holding it on the inside, getting to the gravel with his right-hand tyres, nearly keeping overlap here into turn 9. He was on the replay, and McCrowan was able to do it. Well done around the outside. The 574 Team Max Boost car. McCrowan up to 3rd, King down to 4th with that one. King will not appreciate being done around the outside there. He will have hoped to have held on to position, but he will he'll happily just tuck in behind and go fight this back, as we are now in the final 5 minutes here. The BMW M Sport Cup. Everybody has done their pit stops, so the order that you will be looking at is the order that everyone is in their battles. Dyson and Merritt for 1st, McCrowan and King for 3rd. You can see Haynes, he's got Leach, Baz and Funslow on the back of him. That's in the battle for 5th place. But it's King at the moment trying to hold on to McCrowan, who seems to be putting the foot down at this moment. Trying to open up the gap just in the last handful of moments here. The 40-minute race around Spa. Really eating up the inside curbs there was McCrowan, taking up as much of the circuit as he can, all the way to the edge. It's beautiful driving here in that battle for 3rd, and there's also more beautiful driving up here in the battle for 1st, but it's been very calm and consistent out here. They're not battling each other, but now with 3 minutes 30 on the clock, will we see them battle, Andrew? What do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I thought we were already going to see it. But maybe Merritt's just happy to take the points and sit in the back and not cause too much trouble. But I don't know, maybe we'll see him get on it and put a bit of pressure on in the last couple of laps too.
Yeah, I was hoping we were probably going to see a little bit more from between these two at this point in time. But you got to remember, Merritt is leading the championship. Is 50 points, I think, clear in front. He's just having a look now. He's mind you, he's on the back of one of his worst results in a long time, after a P31 there at Road America, after getting into an incident at the end. But he had a P2 to start off Road America, but the rest of the season in the round 1 and round 2, he had a P2 in round 1 at VIR, and at round 2 over the 2 races, he had a P2 and a P1 at Okayama. So he's right in contention for this, obviously leading the championship. He might just be taking the points here in 2nd, letting Andrew have the points in 1st, but I don't know too much. If I was John, I wouldn't be wanting to do that personally, because Andrew Dyson here, he's on the back of a double win at Road America. He had a P4 and a P1 at Okayama, so he's not been out the top 5 all season. He's not been out the top 3 apart from that once at Okayama. Not been out of the top 2 at all apart from that once in Okayama. He wins 3 times in 4 appearances here in the BMW over the heats so far that we have had. He's looking on for another win here. So if I was Merritt, I wouldn't want to be letting Dyson have another win here nearly.
No, absolutely not. But if you look at the round so far and you take out the drop rounds, I mean, Dyson's still about 11 points in front. So maybe he's happy to score a few less, not put too much pressure on it, and have a good result. No more accidents like last week. Might still be a little bit shaken and just want to get the race complete nice and quick.
Maybe he's just a bit pressured out in the phasing moments of the BMW race at the moment. Just might have a little bit of fear and PTSD from last week. If you can remember that, there was a moment into Canada corner, and I don't think we're on the last lap here. I know we are coming up in the final minute here. I didn't catch a white flag as we went over to start this. Did you catch that nearly?
I didn't see, but just to follow up on what we were saying, I think we would be the first commentators ever to say that John Merritt has a bit of fear.
I think so. I don't think I've ever heard Zach say that Merritt's got fear, and I can definitely tell you in all of the racing I've had with Merritt, he's definitely not got fear. When I first hopped in and had a little bit of pace here with GSRC, it seemed like he was my op. There was just so much pace on him. Is my internet just dropped out here, Andrew?
Yeah, checking flag now.
Yep. Okay. I'm not seeing too much on my screen here. I'm not sure if my internet's just breaking up, but it seems like it is checkered flag. Then do you want to take it nearly, because I can't see anything?
Checkered flag. Andrew Dyson in first, followed by Matt Merritt, McCrowan and King coming through.
So that'll be the top four then over the line. You can see Leach will be in fifth, Funslow sixth, Adams in seventh. He's up into the top eight, which is a great drive from him. Up four from where he started. Hen in eighth position behind Brookfield 9, Benson 10. My screen's still a little bit broken here. Now it's come back on. Okay, so I hope my voice didn't go out at all then. Hopefully it was just my end and the screen. Hopefully that wasn't anything else. You can see more drivers now coming over the line. Baz and Baker in 11th and 12th. They couldn't get into the top 10, unfortunately. Adam Laves in that lucky number 13, like I said. And Oscar Haynes, unfortunately, down in 14th position. He was right up in potential for third, as there's battles still going on here at the end, and I'm glad my screen's working. I at least get to see this. Heppel and Gander to the line, and that was Heppel holding on for 24th, just ahead of Gander. The difference between them was 0.03 over the line. Callum Heinrich as well was right in behind in 26th position. I do apologise that my screen decided to go out as checkered flag was happening. So I do apologise severely about that one, ladies and gentlemen. We see a great drive there by Dyson from lights out, leading us all the way to the end with the win over John Hotlap Merritt. He was 4 tenths behind in second place. McCrowan, a great race into third. Still over the line here, a couple of more cars. Cousins, 29th position. So we'll pull the race results up on screen here, and you can see Andrew Dyson, your winner with DPR Racing. He is on top here once again in the BMW M Sport Cup. 4 tenths ahead of championship rival John Merritt with a Lexus Melbourne Pulse tuning. Dyson extending 6 points on over Merritt in that race. As you can see the points on the right hand side. McCrowan in third place. That was a really good race, getting up into third there, starting from fifth originally, with King in fourth, Leach rounding out the top 5 there. And then you can see Adam Funslow, Jeff Adams, Chris Hen, Richard Brookfield and Maverick Benson round out the top 10 here. And then further down, you can see David Baz, Tony Baker, Adam Laves, Oscar Haynes, Dale Sharp, Brett Bradbury, Hilton Booth, Steve Daniels, Richard King, and Quinton de Klerk. They are your top 20 here. Nearly a minute separating them. So we just see, I think it was actually Quinton de Klerk at the bottom of the screen there. He's up 10 positions in this race, and he was the highest climber in this one. Unfortunately, the biggest dropper, I have to name them out at the same time, and unfortunately it is Mark Heppel in the 416 car. He drops down to 24th position in that race, and he was down 17 positions, and Oscar Haynes as well, he was down 11. He was another big dropper out of that P3 battle that we did see earlier on. We've had someone hop into the booth, and that is John Merritt. Dyson's also just found his way into the booth here. I know I do have V8 Supercar racing coming up myself shortly at Phillip Island. As I'm just trying to find out, still got 26 minutes until the session closes. So instead of putting it all on Neely here and letting him do the interviews, I'll do it for Andrew and John here, our winner and our second place drivers. I'll start with our winner because you were the man on top once again, and you come in here to this 40-minute race around Spa with on the back of a double win at Road America. Straight put it on pole, drive away from the get-go. You're able to hold on from Merritt behind. There was absolutely no battling between you two, which I know myself and Neely were quite sad to not see. But Andrew, how did that go for you in that race? And also, I just want to say congratulations on another win here in the BMW M Sport Cup. But how did that go for you in that one?
Well, thanks, man. And yeah, I can appreciate you want to go have a race, so we'll try and make this a quickie for you. It may have looked like we weren't battling, but you know, we were definitely battling there. I mean, you could say we were both trying to drive as economically as we could. And when we came out the pits there, you know, John was having a real go. He was all over me, and he got really close there in the last lap. And if not for a drop tyre, you know, I was fully expecting that he'd be tearing me up for a look there at some point. So it was probably a lot closer than it may have looked, and we were battling. It's just one of those ones where they're those little battles that are more played out, like in a car length here and there, or a bumper length here and there. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was a good one. It was surprising to see we had a bit of a gap to everybody. I think at the start of the first lap I stuffed up, and thought I sort of gave everyone a chance to hang on to the draft, but no, we managed to sneak away again and sort of make it a 2-horse race. And I reckon we were both trying for the 0x as well, but I stuffed it up pretty early. I don't know about John, but it was a really good race. And, I'll say a quick thanks to you guys for doing all this, and yeah, thanks to John for a good race, and congrats to who do we have there? Daniel on the P3. So yeah, cheers, guys.
Yeah, you guys were able to open up that gap, but I think that was actually with thanks to the battle. The battle was happening behind with McCrowan and Oscar Haynes. Haynes was keeping up with his in that early stage. Like you said, you made that mistake at the end of lap 1, which we see just on screen here. And I thought Merritt was absolutely going to pounce on that and try and force you back into P3 there, and potentially have you rubbing doors with some of the others and see if that was going to work for him. Instead, he decided not to, which probably worked a bit in your favor. But like you said, you guys were battling. I know you weren't really that overlap battling, door-to-door battling, but you had Merritt on your bumper the whole time. At the pit stop, he was actually, I think, 2/10 quicker than you at the stop, and he was like pushing you out of the pit stop. So I thought John was actually going to also maybe jump you in the pit stop there with all of the fuel saving he might have done in behind you. But yeah, nonetheless, that was some great racing, great holding on by you, and I do also want to keep this quick for myself, but next week we've got Oran Park here with the BMWs. What do you quickly think of that one?
Yeah, don't want to keep you hanging around, so I'll let you get to these other guys real quick. But I reckon it's a really hard track to pass, as always, at Oran Park. It's always like that. So yeah, I think qualifying will be pretty important. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Should be good.
Cool. Well, I thank you for not wanting to hold me up too much and keeping it short, but you are allowed to elaborate that a little bit more. I can handball it onto Nearly if I want. That's all right. I can throw him into the bus.
No, I appreciate you still doing this, but yeah, I'll jump out and I'll leave you go to the next guys. But thanks again. I appreciate it.
Before you jump out, who do you want to thank?
Oh, just you guys really, and all the guys at DPR and all the folks at the club who put it on, as always.
All right, lovely. Well, again, thank you for that then, Andrew, and another congratulations to you. Another win here. That's your 4th win in the BMW M Sport, and hopefully we can see more wins in the rest of the season.
Yep, fingers crossed, man. All right, see you guys later.
Well done, Daiso.
Thank you, sir. See you, boys.
We'll swiftly move on to the driver that came second. John Merritt, you were doing a lot of hot lapping there, I think, probably in behind Dyson, just saving a bit of fuel. That was probably the main thing I said in this race. That was probably the main part that you were playing. Save that bit of fuel, and see what that could do at the end of the race. Was I at least right in saying that?
Yeah, I reckon you called it really well, Jordan. So I could have passed on lap 1, and I thought, no, I'll sit and just see if we make a break. And then I managed to save fuel. It's only incremental in this car, I think, but I actually overfilled at the final stop. I'd done my numbers earlier, and I think my JRT was telling me an extra lap, and then it wasn't. So I came home with too much fuel, which could have been the difference.
Yeah.
You just couldn't. You couldn't. The draft was okay, but you really couldn't use it because at Air Rouge, etc., you get some aero wash. So it was still track. I think it was based on track position. You know, if you had the lead, you could probably just about hold it. And yeah, Daiso was on the money. I dropped a wheel on the last lap, and that sort of took away the opportunity for having a crack.
That's one of the odd things then for Spa. Obviously, we know this as being such a slipstreamy sort of track where you can sit in the draft and it will help you make that overtake. But we've heard a lot this season that the BMWs don't seem to have that slipstream effect that we would have experienced in the 86s last season and some of the other production cars that we've had like Miatas and whatnot in iRacing. But it's also funny to hear that you'd mentioned you overfueled, because I'd said you were already quicker than Dyson on the pit stop. So imagine if you had actually gotten that correct. You might have jumped him and gotten the win there.
No, I would have jumped him for sure. But anyway, that's mate, relying on this stuff rather than the calculator when I'd worked it out. I should have gone with what the numbers said, but that's okay. He pretty much, except for that opening lap 1, he didn't put a foot wrong, so all credit to him. Drove a great race.
Yeah, well, I think a P2 nonetheless is still a much better result than that unfortunate P31, which was received at Road America for you. I do want to keep this nice and short. So obviously we've got Oran Park next week, and we'll see you hopefully in the Formula V at Knockhill. But for the BMWs, what do you think of them going around Oran Park?
Yeah, Andrew's on the money. I think quality will be paramount for a result, and the little bit of push these got, it'll make it difficult. That's probably the problem with the draft here, which would normally be you get a result each lap. The front just doesn't like to turn where you want to put it. So that'll be the challenge, I think. There, tight track.
Yeah, it's definitely a tight track. So hopefully it'll produce a little bit more, that tight, closer racing. With that nature of less openness to be able to stretch away, but we've got 7 days until we get there, so practice can be made until then. But before I do step out of the booth, who do you want to thank for this one, John?
Yeah, just the club, and obviously the broadcast for putting it on, the Pulse Lexus guys, and Daiso for a good race.
All right, well, that is lovely. Thank you for hopping into the booth here, John. We'll probably see you on Thursday, and hopefully you and I can have some more great racing in the Formula V there.
Resume the battle. Look forward to it.
Yes, resume the battle. We will go. Alrighty, so I'll quickly have to handball and play on this one over to Dale Sharp, who is going to take over from me, and he'll be
Yeah,
your
you might
lead
want to
commentator, I
head off,
think.
mate. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you got about 15 minutes of qualifying left.
yeah, that's all
Good
right.
luck, Jordan.
That's enough for me.
Yeah.
But no, I'll handball it from here onto you, Dale, as you'll be the main guy watching us over the V8 Supercars at Phillip Island. That'll be coming up on stream shortly. But until then, and until next time that I potentially come back into the booth, I just want to say thank you to everyone here at GSRC for having me come in on this Wednesday and take over from the great man Zach Cabin himself. But my name has been Jordan Pianazzola, and I'll see you out now, and I'll catch you all next time. So stay safe, everyone. Ciao.
Thanks for your help, Jordan, and good luck in the
Cheers, Jordan.
V8s.
Cool. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I'll go get practicing qualifying now. Bye.
Sharpie, we're on. Tell us
We're on,
about your race
Andrew.
just then in the BMWs. How was it?
Mine actually went pretty well because it was going to be tight battling no matter where you went. So I was about in 21st. So I pitted on lap 2 because they got the setup on these a bit like they used to have on the TCRs, as in you start with limited fuel, but your refilling's not limited. So you can pit on lap 1, put your fuel in, and so I pitted on lap 2, and I popped out in 15th in the end. By the time everyone else had battled and lost time. So then I come out in this little battle with Gary and Hilton Booth and a couple other guys. So yeah, it was an enjoyable race, and I was just happy to go forwards instead of backwards for a change.
You know, that's excellent job. Anyway, that might wrap it up for the BMWs at Spa-Francorchamps, and congratulations to Andrew Dyson and second place Hot Lap Merit. And we might take a break and be right back with the V8 Supercars at Phillip Island.
Good evening and welcome back to the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club for the V8 Supercar race, and we are at Phillip Island, a track that the main game has deserted for a few years, but we've got the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club V8 Supercars here, and it should be a cracking race around this circuit in Victoria. Very high speed. I believe tyre deg will be a lot, or maybe not. It looks like we've got a bit of weather, so I hadn't checked the weather of the session, so that's gonna make things very interesting. Obviously, a bit of a curveball for the drivers for qualifying. We're just looking at the times now. James Scott currently has it by 0.01 over Will Buchanan. If we just look at our details, we've got a track temperature of 19 degrees, 64% chance of rain, cloudy, and a 12 kilometre an hour wind going across the track. You guys have 4 minutes 20 left. If we just look at the points going into this round, we'll just have a look at the elite first. We've got Alex Zikas leading the points from Ryan Barber, from Andy Barber, from Ryan Nelson, Nathan Michael, Sean Rigby, Wade Sheedy, Ryan Jones, Dylan Walker, and Will Buchanan sitting in 10th. Now, these points will probably make a bit more sense come the end of the season because both Will and James Scott have missed a round. So once the drop rounds come in, that'll look a bit more accurate. But Alex is doing a good job, some consistent runs. He's leading the points going into this one. Then you got the Barber brothers. They'll just be looking for a consistent run. If we look at the Dev Series points, there we go. Thank you, Andrew. We've got Jamie Fleming leading them from Jeff Adams, from Jordan Pianazola, who's left the commentary box to join the grid, from Matt Carroll, JD Dent. We've got Jason Timon, Mitchell Noble, Daniel Snedden, Jake. Struggle with name. We've got Hayden Watson in 10th. I apologise to anyone whose names I have got wrong. Working on the fly here. This is my first go having a go at anchor, so just bear with me while we wing it basically for our first go. I'm looking forward to this race, Andrew. The last two rounds that I've done, it's been two different stories. Round two, we saw James Scott pretty much dominate, come into his first round and dominate. And then the next round last week, we saw Will Buchanan get to the front and leave his teammate James Scott, to battle for the minors. So I'm interested to see how that battle goes between the two teammates. They've made it perfectly clear that they are teammates, but opposite side of the garage. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good racing. And like you said, they have said that there is no holds barred and they will be out there racing against each other for the points. But they'll obviously be respectful of each other as well, being in the same stable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I know, as you would know, Andrew, when you race your teammates, there's no one else you want to run into least than your teammate, but there's also a little bit of inter-team rivalry going on, and you want to beat your teammate. But, they got different sides of the garage. They do team up for the V8 Pro Series, I believe. But, for this, it's each driver for their own, and especially in these tricky conditions. It'll be interesting to see if we've got rain for the race. But yeah, we got a minute left in the session. We still got Will Buchanan, James Scott, Sam Cullen, Andy Barber, Cooper Barnes, Alex Zekas, Sean Rigby, Adam Maverick, Jake Partridge, and Callum Maxwell in the top 10. And if we have a look, I think we're watching Jeff Adams. I thought it was Jeff Adams. The subpar livery should have given it away. He's currently in 31st. We'll see if he improves his time here. He's 31st. Good to see a great field of cars for tonight. I don't believe he's set a time yet, Jeff. So that'll be, and he jumps up to 27th. He's jumped up a few spots. He's set a time. Now the session's just run out now, so I'm not sure. I think they get to finish their lap. So Jeff going to get another go at it here, I believe, because they're being open qualifying. Obviously, being different rules. If it's solo qualifying, when the time runs out, the time runs out. But being open qualifying, you get to finish your lap. You can tell the guys are really struggling for grip. In a way, Jeff was braking and trying to get it around that bend that I'm sure we're all flat out through. Yeah, you thought, it looks like we got some. I was just about to say we're struggling for grip, and there was definitely a big struggle for grip, and we see Jeff sliding around everywhere. Really trying to improve his time. He's been bumped down to 29. I'd suggest that some people are starting to set their fastest lap now, or set their first time lap.
Really nice times in there. And if you have a look at the dev guys, Adam Maverick has qualified 9th overall for a dev guy. That's a fantastic effort. And same with Jake Partridge in at number 10.
Yeah, excellent result. Yeah, I mean, I used to do all my racing in a dev split, but from a broadcast standpoint, I tend to forget about it a little bit, which you wouldn't think would be the case. But the race within a race is always interesting to watch. So yeah, we got Adam Maverick, the highest placed dev car in 9th position for Aussie races with Jake Partridge, and I believe they'll be gridding up now. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, oh no, I've jumped the gun. We've still got about 30 seconds. But I'm as interested as what the drivers probably are to. I mean, obviously, I'm not racing in the session, so I haven't had a good look at the forecast like I might do. But it'll be interesting to see what they've done, whether we've got a wet race, whether we've got just a wet qualifying and a dry race. And quite often, the guys that set up the won't know exactly either. As iRacing's Tempest system definitely keeps throwing up some curveballs for all of us, and sometimes we get rain when we're not meant to rain, and sometimes it doesn't when it's meant to, and such is the weather in real life, I guess. But here we go. They'll be starting to grid up now, and as we saw, we got Will Brad Cannon on pole from Sam Cullen, James Scott second row, Andy Barber from 4, Cooper Barnes from 5, Alex Vickers from 6, Ryan Barber from 7, Sean Rigby from 8, Adam Maverick, as we said, first dev driver, starting out of 9 with Jake Partridge starting alongside him in 10. And if we go over the page, we've then got Ross Armour starting from 11, Thomas Wilson from 12, Jackson Furling from 13, Callum Maxwell from 14, Ryan Nielsen from 15, Daniel Snedden from 16, Wade Chitty from 17, Max Carroll from 18, Jack Dent from 19, Chase McMillan starting from 20, the first of our unclassified drivers having his first run, followed by Matthew Brown in the same boat from 21, Bryce Barker 22, Drew Collins 23, Callum Glass from 24, Jason Kyman from 25, Jamie Fleming 26, Jeff Adams 27, Hayden Watson 28, Jordan Pianazzola, he did get a time in, he's starting from 29, Aaron Bryan from 30, we're about 30 seconds away from green. With the back row, we've got Colin Bennett and Richard King forming out the grid. So we've got a good mix. I reckon we've got about 50-50 elite guys versus dev guys. So it's going to be interesting. I just try and have a look at the session's weather, just to see. So we've got a dry track at the moment, and the red field, the drivers get ready to go green. And there we go, and Will Buchanan has got an absolute mega jump there. And we've got someone on the grass in the background. I can't quite see who that is. So far we look pretty cleanly, and Will Buchanan's got a great start, followed closely by his teammate James Scott, who's going to tuck right in behind him. And just 1 second, I'm trying to get the right. There we go. I've got my live timing back up. Where would we be without that? And so far, despite the lack of grip, it's been a pretty clean start. It looked like someone going deep into 4. I'm not sure whether we all pulled it up. It looked like everyone got out of there. Well done to everyone who's had a 32-car grid. There'd be a lot happening all at once. And James Scott, here we go. Like we said in the pre-race, these two are not interested in working together. They might be from the same team, but they definitely are in this race for themselves, opposite end of the garage, and it'll be interesting to see whether James Scott gets aggressive early on Will Buchanan. Go back with another battle. We've got who we got there? That's Andy Barber in 7th. Yeah, Andy Barber under pressure from Sean Rigby. Just trying to say, we finished the first lap, and we got through the first lap pretty cleanly. We see someone having a look into turn 1. That was still with Andy Barber. We've got someone on the grass. I can't see who that is. Give me a second. Was that Alex Dickens or Sean Rigby? Just having trouble picking up the cars. We've got the number 4 car there, Andy Barber, who seems to have benefited from that, and he's now sitting in 6th position overall, and he's run wide at turn 4. That's not what you want to do. A little bit of contact, and it's bunching up, and it's not really going to get any better here now. And that's all it takes. One mistake, and 2 positions down for Barber, and now under immense amount of pressure. As we see a lot of positions changing. Now that these guys have got their tyres warmed up, starting to burn some fuel, warm the brakes up, and they're getting a bit of confidence in the car. And also, it might be, I'm not sure how much it rained in practice in the sessions for these guys, as we see more battles. Alex Dickens under pressure from, looks like Sean Rigby still having a go around the outside. I don't think you really want to be on the outside there. You better just try and tuck in and get the run onto the main straight, which is exactly what he's doing. He'll get the benefit of the draft, he'll get the benefit of speed. Now he'll be on the outside going into turn 1, and they almost make contact. Alex Dickers, he hasn't done anything wrong there. He just squeezed him for room, just let him know, hey, you might have got a run on me, but yeah, I'm going to fight to keep this position. And as he starts to settle in now, and just try and maintain that gap, as we saw one mistake, one lock up if you go into 4 there, and all that hard work to make all those positions or keep that position, it can all come undone very, very quickly. And all of a sudden, you're battling to stay in you go from battling to try and get a top 5 to battling to try and stay in the top 10. As we look further back, we've got Daniel Snedden. He's in a battle there with Ross Armour, the other Armour brother. In the 01, he is the defending Dev Split champion. Well, I think he's going to defend it because he's in the elite split. But as he rightly so, as he's knocked everyone off in the Dev Split last season. Daniel Snadden, we've seen him in the elite split before, but I mean the size of the supercar grid has grown and the pace of everyone changes, and you know the splits get shuffled around, so you're racing against people around your pace, and it'll be interesting to see how Daniel goes here. I might have called him Daniel Snedden. Snedden's the right term, I think. I don't think it is Snedden, because I think we've got a Dane Snedden and a Daniel Snedden, and I think I've just come across the first trick for commentators there. I'm not sure if Dane is with us in this race, but probably for the better for me trying to learn the names and get names right, which I think I'm only hitting about half of them at the moment. But
definitely Daniel Snedden tonight in the AI.
That one's the Snedden, and your teammate's Snadden, I think.
Absolutely, and the Snadden's in a green car, nice and easy.
Oh yeah, I'll follow those green cars enough. You'd think I would recognise them pretty quickly. Plenty of battles with Greg Heaney in one of those green cars, in no matter what car I race. But back to the action here, and it's still as it was. Will Buchanan doing a good job, just holding his pace, hitting his mark, punching out those lap times, and not giving James Scott a chance to even have a sniff. And from my point of view, calling these races and watching these broadcasts, it's been very interesting for me to actually watch how these guys go about it. And I guess, just marvel at the guys that are good at their craft, being able to hit your marks and punch out those lap times and not give the guy behind you one sniff of a chance to be able to execute that. It is very understated how hard that is to do, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in these V8s. They're a bit of a bit slow under brakes. They drive very differently to something with a high downforce. You've really got to think about it. Slow in, fast out, but these guys are giving an absolute masterclass. Look at the gap, 5.72 seconds. We're only on lap 5, so excellent racing from the boys up front. We look forward to what they've got in store. Can't wait for them to get fighting a little bit later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Like James, I don't think he hasn't got past because he's not fast enough. We know he's fast enough, but you're just playing the game here. We've got a 40-minute race. I don't have the Zaculator on me to work out the laps on that one. That one's exclusive to our very own Zach Caban. But I would say that James, again, these guys, they do everything they can to gain that 10th of a second. I'd say he's just looking after his stuff, looking after his tyres, knowing it's a long race, knowing we've got pit stops, fuel stops, fresh tyres. You would already be planning around when you plan on making that stop. So that's what I'll be interested to see, whether James decides he's going to come in early and try and undercut Will, and whether Will reacts, and vice versa. They're definitely in a league of their own. As that gap keeps getting bigger. We got 6.7 seconds back to Cooper Barnes in third. Ryan Barber still fourth. Sam Cullen still holding the fifth spot. He's dropped down 3 spots from the front row start. He's dropped down 3 spots. I think that was early on in the race. We look down the order. We still got Adam Maverick leading the Dev split. As we look to a replay here, we've got Aaron Bryan into turn 4, and there we go, that easy lock brake, and we've all done that 100. Oh, and it's a little bit awkward. They tried to get back on. I can't trying to pick up who that other driver is that was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That was Drew Collins.
Drew Collins, just in the wrong place, wrong time, and got caught up in that, and it was all a bit awkward them trying to rejoin. And it's still on here between these two. Like I said, you see two guys racing hard for the lead, but this is a game of chess. James is smart enough to know that if he goes and sends it up the inside and start holding each other up, as big as that gap is for the guys behind him, you don't want that to start getting smaller, and you definitely don't want to ruin your own race. So, a big game of chess here, and like I said, Will would know what's going on. He would know that James is potentially saving some fuel, potentially looking after his tyres, but then you get the heat from the car behind you as well, so the does change the way the front of the car handles when you're right up behind someone too. So, like I said, it's a big game of chess, and we're not really going to know what card these two are playing until after they make their pit stop. It's going to be very interesting to see. If you look back through the field, you see a few positions changing. The minor positions for the dev split. Looks like we've got Daniel Snadden and Jackson Surfong. Back there to Ryan Nielsen. He's sitting in the 10th spot. He's right behind Thomas Wilson at the moment, and same thing, sort of just sitting there, just he's gonna have to go going into 4. He's got some faith in his brakes. You can see he's crossed up. He's struggling to pull it up, but he has pulled it up. And then we've got Adam Maverick sitting in 11th overall, but leading the dev split. We've crossed to Ryan Nielsen, sitting in 9th spot. He's trying to he'll be trying to keep Thomas behind him now. You make a dive under brake, and the last thing you want is for him to be able to do it at the next corner and have another go. So he certainly looks like he's got the pace, Ryan. He's sitting, well, 9th overall, 9th in the elite split. He's up 6 positions from where he started. So he's done very well there to get up to where he has. He's had to pass two of the dev guys. He's got all them behind him now. He's just got the elite guys to worry about and see if he can pull a gap on Thomas Wilson and set sail after Andy Barber in 8th position. Yeah, definitely does look interesting, the battle between Adam, Ross and Daniel. If I look at the timing, Adam's still got the lead over that. Ross not very far behind. He's sitting in 3rd. Daniel Snadden, he's just another couple of seconds behind. So a little bit. Oh no! Adam Lavis has had a lock-up going into 4. Now, how many of them have we seen already in this race? It is so easy to do, and he's handed that spot to Ross Armour, and now he's under attack from Daniel Snadden. Daniel Snadden's gone from 2 seconds back to all of a sudden, I can have a sniff at the second in the dev split here. Very uncharacteristic of Adam. Adam is very, very calculated driver. He's always a good one to try and follow when you're on track. He's just a very good all-round driver. So a lock-up, very uncharacteristic from him, but I know all too well how easy it is to do. That is why I'm in the commentary booth tonight and not out there, is because after a few thousand times having those lock-ups and sailing off the end, you decide maybe it's not for me, and maybe I'm better off doing this. as we see a battle for third now. Cooper Barnes is in third, and he has got Sam Cullen all over him. So
Like a cheap
Sam
suit.
Cullen, yeah, he's made up a spot. He's up to fourth, and he's looking to make that third. We've got Cooper Barnes in the Shell livery there. We see him. As soon as you're under pressure, it is so easy. We've seen that a lot tonight. Someone's under pressure going into turn 4, and they just go that tiny bit deeper. And we see it again, and we've made contact. There's contact. I mean, there was a gap there. He did run a little bit wide again, and Sam Cullen needed no more invitation than that. You know, the usual saying, if you're a race car driver, is gap car, and that's the difference between sort of us Deb guys and these elite guys. You see those opportunities and you just take them without thinking, execute, and very, very good job. I don't want to tell Sam he's got 12 seconds to Will Buchanan ahead. It's with different timing, and James Scott has actually gotten past Will Buchanan, so it'll be interesting to see if we can find where or how that happened, Andrew, whether Will's made a mistake. I can see Will's still 0.4 behind, and it just would have been drafting down the straight. Here we go. He's decided, you know what, I'm not sitting here anymore, Will. I'm going to take the ascendancy. Will has not made it easy for him, made him work for every bit of it, and James Scott takes the lead. Now, this will be interesting. So that will absolutely maybe split the strategy that those two are going to be looking at running there. And we see the fourth-place car of Cooper Barnes. He's run wide again. So easy to do. The second time in 2 laps we've seen him do that. Such is the difficulty of driving these cars. Like you say, Andrew, they're not very good under brake. They're not good to stop. It's so easy to squeeze that brake a little bit harder to try and pull it up, and next minute your front's locked and you're a passenger from there on in.
Yeah, absolutely. Once those fronts lock, you got no steering whatsoever. You got to come off the brake, slow it down gently, you probably run wide into the grass, and then you get back on it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like they'd been in that situation a long time. Once those brakes lock, you've lost a whole chunk of time and potentially all the work you've done throughout the race you've undone. And when you're a driver like me that makes a lot of mistakes in a car that is not forgiving to them at all, I decided it's time to park it, and here we are tonight. We see a battle. We've still got Ryan Nielsen. He's been in a battle all race long, it seems like. He's all over Andy Barber. And this is another battle this is the 8th and 9th for Elite, for Outright, and same thing, Nielsen looks like he's got some confidence in his car now. He's and possibly looking to make a move down into 4. There was a gap and then it closed. Then he's run wide, and we're going to go side by side out of turn 4 into turn 5 into Superior. I think we've made a little bit of contact. Didn't quite get the move done. They are still side by side coming out of Siberia into Lukey Heights. This is a scary part of the track to be side by side. You did not want to be on the outside there, but he is, and he has made it stick, so he can keep the inside, and there's contact, and he saves it, and he's redressed the situation there, which has left Thomas Wilson kind of in the middle of it there. He's come across it. Very well done by both those guys. It was very good racing through a very fast part of the circuit. And to make contact there and both live to tell the tale, very well done. No harm, no foul, and play on, as I believe we've seen Andy Barber now pull the trigger and pit. Now that'll be an interesting one. We've still got, well, we're approaching halfway. Well, I mean, time flies when you're having fun. We're approaching halfway, so probably about a good time to come to pit and get those fresh tyres. As usual in the V8, it more of a case of you need tyres before you need fuel, whereas most cars we race on this platform, you'll get tyres when the fuel forces you. But as we've heard from James Scott in round 2 that it was basically the worn tyres that forced him into pit lane, even when he had about 3 laps of fuel left to go. So obviously splitting it up halfway through the race makes it all nice and even, but it really, I guess, depends on your position, your car, and how you've been looking after your gear. So if you're still punching out those lap times at the moment, you'd probably be more inclined to stay on the old tyres and potentially do an SVG and come out with fresher tyres at the end and make some positions.
5-second penalty just handed down to Callum Maxwell for a avoidable contact on lap 4, and we've also got another 5-second penalty for rear contact on car 54.
Rear contact on
car 2
lap 10. Yeah, thank you for that, Andrew. I wasn't actually keeping an eye on that, but I'm not sure if we saw the that incident, or was that the contact for the battle we saw? I'm not sure, but now James Scott looks like he's pulling a bit of a gap now. This is like a bit like round 2 all over again, where we saw James Scott drive off into the distance and Will just didn't have an answer. Now Will took the pole, he got the early lead. James worked on him for a lot of laps and eventually got in with the draft going down the straight, as we saw, and he's looking like he's got a bit more pace. But again, I wouldn't write that off as being the full story. James might have decided he's going to go hard. Will might have decided he's going to sacrifice. He's had to sacrifice his line into turn 1 there around the lap car, and that would have cost him a few more precious tenths on James, which he can't really afford. The leader's got a car trying to rejoin. You hate this as the leader. You've got lap cars in front of you. I think they're going to get by without any drama there. So well done by everyone. No, not many people have a answer for James. And we've got one round at the back there. I think it might have been, I'm not too sure. I've got a few people going down the leaderboard at the moment, but I think that's due to pit stops. It's hard to tell who it was going around, whether that was the lap car or it was one of those top 5 position cars. And we've still got Rigby in 3rd, Nielsen in 4th, Wilson in 5th. So looks all good there. Might have been the lap car just getting out the way there. As we see Ryan Barber going into turn 1 here. Oh, and he's just gone too hard. And again, it's like, I thought he was going to fly right across the track then, and we were going to have a monumental, and I'm sure Ryan probably did too. And he might be having a bit of a cautious lap, catching his breath a little bit after that one. Same as the guy that was on the track that thought he was just about to wear a V8 Supercar square in the in the passenger door there. But we've been pretty lucky. We're nearly 24 minutes in, and we haven't actually seen any major incidents. A couple of little bingles, a couple of little awkward moments, but nothing major, Andrew. Everyone has been done pretty well, considering. I'm not sure if Andrew's there. Andrew, I think he's busy pushing buttons at the moment as we've got a replay. Oh no, we've got Jordan Gianazzola down at turn 10. Oh, he looped it. I don't know. I can't tell whether he got a tap or whether he's just gassed it up and gone round,
I think there
or
was definitely
6
a
to 1,
tap
half
in there.
dozen the other. He might have got a bit of help. So we'll keep an eye on the session to see whether I don't know whether that was called into race control or not. But again, if it was contact, it was only small contact, but you don't need much when you're on the limit of these 1.5 ton, 800 horsepower machines. It's not, you don't need much of a tap to throw your whole balance off and away you go. But we've got race control for a reason, and I believe we've got who have we got in race control tonight? His name escapes me. We've been talking to him today, but yeah, he hasn't had too much to rule on tonight.
Could this be a strategic masterclass here? Will Buchanan or James Scott has pit. Will Buchanan's out for another lap. Has he saved the fuel for the extra lap? And will he have a bit of an undercut?
It's a good point. Like I said, I'm not sure how close they are to pitting.
James Scott's in.
So So Will Buchanan and Thomas Wilson are the only 2 cars not to have pitted. So that tells me they've got to be getting low on fuel. Either that or they've got plenty of fuel, and Will's just feeling good with the tyres. And we see him come in now. I'd say I'd say 16, 17 laps is as much as you're getting out of the fuel allocation. Now, this will be interesting because James he'll be on his out lap, getting some temp into his tyres now. They come up pretty quickly in the supercar compared to other cars, so they'd be almost up to temp, whereas Will's just done his in lap, yes, on warm tyres, but also on warm tyres. So we'll follow this to see how close it is, and he's going to easily pass Will there. You see Will just coming out of the pit lane now, and James has actually pulled some margin, if anything, and you would love to see that because he himself wouldn't know exactly how that's going to play out until it effectively plays out. And he would be very happy to see Will and his relative still in pit lane as he sailed on through, and he has got, we wait for SDK to update the live timing for us.
James Scott had a pit stop 1.2 seconds less than Will Buchanan, so interesting stop there from Buchanan. A little bit of extra time, whether that was fuel out the front to begin with, or whether he's taken the tyres and James Scott only took 2.
Yeah, that's very interesting. 1.2 seconds. Now that is a lot. Like, we know how hard it is to gain a second on track, on pace. So pit strategy is always your number one bet to try and gain some track position. 1.2 seconds. Now that seems like a lot less fuel to put in. And considering for that first stint, Will led for half of it, James led for the other half of it. I'm not sure James will use that much less fuel, or whether, we've got lots of other anomalies like pit entry, pit exit. So I guess there is a lot of ways you can lose 1.2 seconds, I suppose. As we looked at Adam Maverick, who, now I've got to start trying to call him Adam Lavis. My brain reads the name and says what it reads. Now, you'd think, I'm in a team with him, you'd think I would know why his name in the broadcast is Adam Maverick when his name is Adam Lavis, but it's just occurred to me that I don't. Maybe I might have to ask him after all these years. There might be something I have to ask him, but he's got the lead of the dev split. So he's done pretty well. We saw him have that lock up and lose the spot and lose the lead Can't remember what driver that is now, but I think he maybe disappeared off of our screen because he's got Daniel Snedden just about a second behind him. And then we got Jordan Fianazzola. He'd be running third in the next. We see him run wide, turn 4. I don't know. We haven't got a count going, but if we had a count for how many cars we've seen lock a brake at turn 4, I think we'd be into the double figures by now. In fact, there's probably some drivers that themselves are into the double figures for a lock up at turn 4. And speaking of turn 4, we've got Matt Carroll having an issue down there at turn 4. He is in 22nd position overall, so he hasn't had the best of race. He's got a car coming up behind him. I'm not sure if that is for a position actually. The car ahead, so he's got Chase McMillan ahead of him in 21st, Max Carroll in 22nd, and this is the good thing about having the two split, the race within a race, as in it doesn't matter where you are on track, whether the start of the race hasn't gone that well for you, or you've had something happen, and you find yourself maybe in a position lower than you'd hope to be, but you still find yourself having a battle for position nonetheless. That's one of the things that always kept me coming back. You see, James Scott dealing with some lap traffic. Looks like he might have had a bit of a moment coming up in that lap car. It might have cost him some time. He's got 3.5 seconds to Will Buchanan, so the lap car's going to have to hold him up a little bit more than that to help Will gain 3.5 seconds, and that's about the only threat James Scott has really got at this point. Someone of James's caliber, you're not likely to see him make a mistake and lose 3.5 seconds, and that's what I really admire about watching these guys race. It's what I've really enjoyed about watching these races rather than trying to compete and being the lap car trying to get out of their way, is just how they 40 minutes just hit your marks, pinpoint perfect. We've got side by side into turn 1. We've got Thomas Wilson in a battle there with Ross Armour. Now, Ross Armour, he's been in the thick of it from the word go. Like I said, when you just find yourself in a battle, no matter where you are, and I think Ross Armour would be really able to relate to that in this race. Oh, he's gone deep! He's gone deep! He's tagged the back of Thomas Wilson, and it looks like he's looped it around, and he gets back, and Ryan Armour, is it? Yeah, Ryan Barber. Ryan Barber
and Ross Armour.
Yeah, I think Ryan Barber and Ross Armour. So I'm rookie mistake from a commentary standpoint there. Just cut me a little bit of slack with that one. But Ryan Barber, he would feel like he's had a bit of a war in this race. And just pushing hard to try and hold position, and again adds to the counter of lock brakes. To seeing Jason Kyman trying to get out the way there. He's done a good job to...
He's just parked up, moved out of the way of the passing cars and let him through.
Yeah. He's done very well there, and we've got another car coming up behind him. He's done very well. It's a little bit risky. Look, without going on a tangent about lap car etiquette, he has done very well there. Sometimes when you're a lap car and you're conscious of it and you try to get out their way, you get off the gas and try and move offline. Sometimes you can make things harder for the guy coming up behind you, and the racing rule that I have followed all my life in real life and in sim racing is be predictable, even if you're a bit slower. But But if you can safely move over and let them by, like the driver did there, then I'm sure the leaders will be forever grateful. They can continue on their merry way without losing any time. And yeah, you think James Scott is on a Sunday cruise when he's leading by so much, but I swear that was on the edge of disaster going into turn one. Now I reckon we're looking at probably 270 k an hour, and he dropped the wheel in the dirt on the entry into turn one. Now, I don't know about you, Andrew, but if that was me, I would have ended up in the next postcode and in the back straight. But,
Hey, that is the same as me, but I dare say James Scott is making this look easy. I would not be surprised if he's got Pavarotti going in the background, just enjoying every single little bit of this race.
Oh, look, I don't know if you've got a bit of inside information on his taste of music or whether it's just a reference to taking it easy and playing a little bit of maybe Frank Sinatra. But as he's still going into turn one there, he's definitely not taking it easy. And I'm just loving watching the dust come up when he goes into those brake markers, going into those turns, and you're seeing the dust come up. And what a great example to show how much these guys are on the limit and they're pushing. And again, got some more dirt. Now we're going to ride on board here with James. Let's do a lap round Phillip Island with James Scott. Let's take this in here. Fantastic stuff there from James Scott. It's good to watch the master at work, just hear how gentle they are with the throttle, and I think the big thing for me is just watching how much they maximise every bit of track. Now, that's probably the fundamental, most important rule in racing, but yeah, I don't dice with the dirt and the grass as close as those two do. We are following Ross Armour. It is Ross Armour this time. We are following his trying to chase down Thomas Wilson. We've got a minute and a half left. I'd say maybe 2 laps to go for these guys. Depending on where James Scott is. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get another lap, and then James will see the white flag the next time round. We're back down the order. We've still got Sam Cullen. He is sitting in 3rd position, some 22 seconds behind Will Buchanan, and he's got a gap of about 7 seconds back to Alex Dickus in 4th position, and then another gap of about 3 seconds back to Sean Rigby. So it's all spread out through the order, and this would be the closest battle we've got on track at the moment, coming to the end. I don't have the information on when these two guys pitted, but I don't think it's going to matter. We're at the end, even if like we're both going to have second-hand tyres, light fuel, and Thomas Wilson in third spot. A good, strong position for him in this race, and I would suggest he's got 2 more laps to try and hold off that 7th position from Ross Armour. As we look a bit further back, we've got Bryce Baker. As we look at replay here, or no, we've got live. We're live. Yeah, thanks for that, Andrew. This is Bryce Baker in the 20th position. Now this is for position as well. This is all for position. So we've got Chase McMillan in 18th. Now he's a new driver, but you suggest where he's running. He's probably going to get allocated the dev split. And then we've got Jackson Surfon, who is under attack by Bryce Baker and 2 teammates, obviously by the look of it, with the Index Design livery on the side of it. So I'm sure those 2 are communicating, but they're not going to let this one go. Surfong and Baker are both very keen. We let him having a look after his teammate at the turn 4, and I thought there was going to be a bit of a team debrief at the end of that one, knowing how hard it is to pull those cars up going into turn 4. This will be the penultimate lap, I believe, and we're going to have another battle through Siberia and Lukey Height. Oh my god, I don't want to watch. I'm literally speechless watching this. These 2 teammates. Now, if they, we see the see how that Bryce Baker is. Surfong has lost the spot to Max Carroll in all of that.
We missed the checkered flag. James Scott has raced.
Oh, well done to James Scott. That might be my bad, because I did do the maths and suspected we'd be on the we'd get the white flag, but evidently it was a checkered flag. So apologies to James that we yeah, that'll certainly explain a lot there, Andrew. We completely missed the end. I think we managed most of the night without a monumental stuff up, but we've got to the end of the race and there it is. But
maybe that's why the 2 teammates were fighting. They had finished. They were just in Discord having a bit of a laugh with each other.
That it actually makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, nonetheless, it was interesting watching those teammates after the finish line, and we all like to sort of let our hair down once the checkered flag's gone. And so, since we missed the checkered flag, we'll cross to the result and call the order for you. So as we look on screen, there we go. So James Scott obviously in first. Will be Buchanan second. Sam Cullen has rounded out the podium from Alex Dickus, Sean Rigby, Ryan Nielsen, Thomas Wilson, Ross Armour, Andy Barber, and Ryan Barber rounding out the top 10 for the elite split. Adam Maverick getting the win in the dev split from Daniel Sneddon. Then we got Matthew Brown, who's one of the unseeded guys, but again, you'd probably suspect he'll be tucked in third, from Callum Maxwell, Jeff Adams, Chase McMillan, Bryce Barker, Max Carroll in 20th. We scroll a little bit further down. We got Jordan Piana Zola in 21st, Richard King 22, Jackson Surfong, as we saw at the end there in 23. Jake Partridge, 24. Jamie Fleming, 25. Jack Dent, 26. Hayden Watson, 27. Callum Gluyas, 28. If you are watching, Callum, I apologise if I got your name wrong. Jason Tyman in 29. Drew Collins in 30. Adam Bryan, Colin Bennett, and Josh Morris. Just trying to look. I think those last three, only 3 DNS from the race, which is a very good effort by all there. We had 33 cars take the green, and only 3 DNS with Adam Bryan, Colin Bennett, Josh Morris not finishing the race. I believe
We've just got Daniel
may have-
Snedden joined us in the booth, Dale.
Yeah, I heard the ding, and I was just trying to look who it was, and it's Daniel Snedden. I've probably just got his name wrong, like I did in the broadcast again. You'd think I would get it right. Look, I do apologise in advance. I got confused between my Dane Sneddens and Daniel Snedden during the race, even though Dane wasn't in the race. But we have got Daniel Snedden, who picked up second place in the dev split tonight. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, mate, some pretty fun racing. Didn't do a lot of practice this week. I had a bit of a rough week last week in Chicago, so I don't know, just kind of gave it a little bit of a break and thought I'd just come into this one and just do the arrive and drive thing. So pretty happy with the gap that we did elope away, me and Adam. Yeah, it looks like we're way ahead, but I think it was just a few errors there, and yeah, it is a hard track.
Yeah, it's a hard track, but it's a very fun track. But because of the speed, one little mistake becomes a very big mistake, as you call it. So you've done very well to hang with Adam for most of the race. Did you ever feel like you could have a go at Adam and challenge for the win there?
Yes and no. I feel like we had a lot of traffic issues coming through. And then when I thought it was going to be my opportunity, we had a lot of traffic come up where it kind of slowed him down, and then he put the blockers on and kind of was a bit of a reset. So if anything, it was a little bit frustrating, but I'm happy with the P2 after a couple of DNFs and did not finish it. No contest and that sort of stuff, because I didn't finish the race a complete 75% in one. So just good to be back on the board.
Yeah, that's it. Especially once you've had a couple of bad races, just a strong finish is sometimes what you need just to get things back on track and to arrive and drive and finish second in the dev split and take it up to Adam. You've done very well there. I would find myself, if you arrive and drive, that about 3/4 of the way through the race you actually find the pace you need, but it's all too late by then. So anyone you wanna thank while you're here?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few good sponsors with the team. We've got AITX, we've got Soot Speed, we've got Shield Coat, one of our major sponsors. So just we've got 2 different liveries on the grid these days. If anyone's seen that, nice cars, the other ones, and the AITX. Yeah, love driving the white and blue. And also a shout out to Slady's Gloss Works as well, if anyone needs any car coating or any sort of protective paint stuff on the Central Coast, New South Wales.
Very good stuff. That'd be our very good friend Jake Slade you're talking about there.
It sure is. Keep him busy. He won't be on the grid.
Yeah. He's a top bloke if he is watching. Managed to catch up with him at the Adelaide 500. He come down for the Adelaide 500 from Sydney, and we had a little group catch up there. So good. Good bloke. And look, we had noticed the 2 different liveries. We've seen your teammates battling at the front of Elite there, and I don't know who your paint guy is, but your liveries look outstanding.
Yeah, his name's Greg. So no, it's a good effort at the moment. yeah, it's just been fun lately to drive with the RER boys, and it's socially been a good environment. So I think for everybody, we're just having a great time, and the racing's showing that as well. So let's go put the dev split on notice and see what we can do next week.
Good stuff. So, all right, thanks for stopping in and having a chat to us, Daniel. As who else are we? We got
Hey, mate.
so we got James Scott in the booth with us as well. The winner of the elite split. Now he didn't have it all his own way. We saw Will take the lead from pole. I'd be interested to hear from you, James, as to what your approach to that race was. If you just want to talk us through it, when in those early stages following Will, what was going through your head and how were you planning your strategy sitting in second and trying to get one up on your teammate?
Yeah, mate. Thanks for that. No, look, all under control into the first stint. Just trying to look after the tyre and a bit of fuel saving as well. Try and make that stop a little bit shorter and break the draft. The draft was pretty powerful around here, so very hard to pull away. So yeah, just tried to save as much as I could, so get down to sort of the same amount of fuel that needed for tyres as well. And yeah, it worked out well. But yeah, just looking after the car, no need to do any stupid moves. And then yeah, just wanted to get in the lead a few laps before pitting just to get a gauge on my fuel number. But yeah, all under control.
It's interesting you mentioned the fuel saving because Andrew had some stats that we didn't have, and you were stationary in your pit box for 1.2 seconds less than Will. So I think you had a couple of seconds lead when you initially did pit, and then you increased that by another second and a half after the pit stops. You must have been very pleased to come past pit exit and see Will was still exiting. How close did you think it was going to be? Like, were you a bit worried that Will might pop out in front of you?
No, I wasn't worried, to be honest. I could judge pretty easily that he wasn't saving any fuel in the first stint, so I knew there was going to be that advantage. The only painful thing was I came out right behind one car, so I had to make a move on my first lap out of the pits, which cost me a little bit. But yeah, once I saw the gap was about 3 seconds coming out of turn 2 when he exited, I knew. I thought he'd probably close up a little bit more, but yeah, no, it wasn't all that worried.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting being in the booth the last few weeks and sort of see the power struggle between you and Will go back and forth. We saw you dominating round 2, then we saw Will get to the front and not headed last week, and it must be good to, you know, we know your teammates, but we're well aware that you're opposite sides of the garage and in full-blown competition. So after last week, it must be good to get one up over him for the bragging rights.
Yeah, obviously can never complain with a win. Yeah, not much, preparation. I haven't actually been on the sim since the race last week, so a little bit rusty. But yeah, we raced here, a month and a little bit ago on some other series, so got up to speed pretty quickly. It was more just me being a wobbler from a bit of rust and not being on very much.
Well, I mean, that sort of probably annoys people like me, who if I'm a bit rusty, it definitely comes out in my lap time. So to describe yourself as a little bit rusty and to come out and absolutely pants the entire field, I mean, just credit to you. And it's been good watching you guys, even at the end of the race there, where you had the race pretty much thrown up. You had a good buffer. I was quite in awe watching you go around, watching you still put half a wheel in the dirt, maximising every bit of space. And, it's a credit to you guys. It's fun for me to watch you guys just absolutely on the limit of the car and the track and basically not spearing off like the most of us normal drivers normally do.
Yeah, there was a few times I thought I was gonna go out in the weeds, but yeah, no, it was good to keep it on. ran a different setup to what I ran here in that race that we did a month and a half ago. So I don't know if it was me very rusty or the setup being extremely loose, but yeah, it was wasn't in
Oh,
control.
look, it was
Would've been
definitely
nice to have.
entertaining to watch, especially for me personally. When you've got a lead and everyone thinks you're taking it easy, and to see you still on the ragged edge, dicing with death, as far as I'm concerned, with the dirt and the and the grass. I mean, that's millimeters away from a severe loss of traction. So you've done very well. Anyone you want to thank while you're here?
Yeah, all the guys at Revolutionary Racing, the sponsors, AITX, Shieldcoat, Sudspeed, Kibby, the guys at the Chiefs Esports as well with Logitech G, Westfield, Aussie Broadband. Great to have them supporting again. So yeah, all the guys put on the series. Great little community they got here. So yeah, no, it's good to be a part of it. And yeah, you guys for the broadcast each and every week. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't have put it better myself. That this little community we got here with the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. It's I mean, I know we all have our issues with race control from time to time, but it is a great little community. They put on a great platform, and like I said, we got Andrew pushing the buttons, and I'm just sitting here with a microphone talking. I'm doing the easy bit here, but uh, but thanks for that for not me and Andrew, but everyone in the club that that does what they do and allows us to go racing. You know, we've got uh, Adam Maverick. We know does a lot of work behind the scenes with all the points and everything else. So speaking of points, James. Now I think we'll look at the points. You missed round one. Now you obviously get your 2 drop rounds. Do you intend to do the full series and contend real for a title?
Yeah, just finishing off on your previous point. Yeah, anyone that's looking to get involved in sim racing, can recommend the club highly enough. So yeah, well done to everyone. Point wise, I don't know, man. I'll try to make as many as I can. You know, get pretty tied up with me day job, so some nights will be difficult when it's busy. But yeah, no, I'll try and make as many as I can, and you know, I never really worry about any championship sort of stuff until the last sort of 2 rounds. There's no point worrying about it for the whole season. That's when things go wrong. So yeah, we'll reassess where we are with 2 rounds to go for him with a shot. We'll certainly go for it, but if not, we'll have fun along the way.
Very good way to approach it. I think sometimes we can get too caught up in championship standings and points, but like you say, sometimes the real world stuff uh, can have an effect on whether we go for a championship or not. But like you say, once you get to round 7 and 8, and the drop rounds come into it, and you sort of see you're up there, then you might sort of go, "Ooh, yeah, I might make sure I make those last couple of rounds."
Yeah, look, I think anyone that worries about the championship from round 1, yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. So don't even look at the championship standings until the end of the season. Don't even know where to find them, to be honest. So yeah, no, we'll see how it plays out later in the season.
Yeah, it's a good way to approach it. Like that, there can be a lot happen out of your control, and the old saying, if you just worry about race results, the points take care of themselves at the end, don't they?
That's it. Yeah, if you just focus on winning each and every week, then yeah, you shouldn't have too much of a problem.
So before we let James call it a night, do you got anything else you want to add, Andrew?
Nothing from me other than we did a lap on in car with you James. It was an absolute masterclass. It was almost like watching the Stig with the classical music going in the background. It was that well put.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully it was a good one.
Yeah, Andrew did suggest you had the Pavarotti music going, and that's how easy you were taking taking it out. I don't know whether he's got some inside information, say some music, or can you confirm whether you listened to Pavarotti or not?
Nope, definitely not.
I thought that was a pretty good bet. No offense to the late Pavarotti, but yeah, I think he was trying to make a reference how easy you had it. But definitely that lap was. I mean, I was definitely on the edge of my seat watching all the places I was speared off. But very well done, good performance, and it's been great watching you guys battle it out the last few weeks that I've been here in the commentary booth. You've both put on a good show, and I'm looking forward to next week. I'm not sure what track we've got next week, Andrew, if we can get that up at some point. But nonetheless, I'll be Sebring. How do you feel about Sebring, James?
Sebring. Yeah, I haven't driven there in a little while, but it's usually not too bad. A lot of tyre wear, that's for sure. So that'll be important to make sure you got nice balance. But yeah, no, it should be all right. Probably couldn't get two more different circuits, Phillip Island to Sebring. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So there'll be a lot of tyre wear, very bumpy Sebring, and I look forward to watching you and Will send it into Sunset Curve on the limit next week. That's going to be very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, should be good. I think, yeah, certainly whatever setup you run here won't be working at Sebring. So I have to dig through the
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I have to dig through the setups and see what we can find. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be something, but certainly won't be this one.
Yeah, and speaking of completely different types of tracks, we'll then go from Sebring to Adelaide, and then to the Qualcomm circuit. So that'll be a big unknown for everyone. I don't know if you've done any laps around that yet.
No. You should be able to get away with a similar setup between Sebring and Adelaide, but what was the other one? Qualcomm or something?
Qualcomm, Colorado.
The Navy base, the Air Force base.
Yeah. The NASCAR Navy base track. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. No, I haven't driven there. But yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll have to get into a lobby and look out where the corners go. That'll be a good start.
Actually buy it and download it, which would be the case for me come that weekend.
Yep, haven't done that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, these tracks come out sometimes. I might get a bit excited. Otherwise, I'll just wait until the Gentleman Sim Racing Club throws it on a schedule of a series that I race, and then I'll need to download it. I think we might leave it there, Andrew, if you've got nothing else to add.
I've got nothing else to add. Thanks for coming into the booth, James. And well done on the win.
Yeah,
thanks, fellas. Well done for a good broadcast.
No worries. Thanks to yourself and Daniel for joining us in the booth tonight, and I think that'll wrap up our first time doing it solo there, Andrew. I think we managed it. Actually, I do owe James an apology because we were calling the a couple of rookies here. We were calling the last lap, and then we got to the end of the last lap, and we realised it was the warm down lap, and we'd completely missed the finish. So we managed to. We did pick up on it just in time, I think, to see Will go across the line for second, but we missed you across the line, so we missed your moment of glory. But hopefully you can cut a couple of rookies some slack. As we look ahead, tomorrow night we've got Formula V's and Porsche Cup. I believe we've got Zach joining us again tomorrow night, and that's going to be high action, free sprint racing for the V's. 40-minute race for the Porsche Cup. I'm not sure what split we're showing, or if they are split. I'll have to double check that one.
The
Then we
Porsche Cup
got,
will be combined again, I think.
it is combined again.
Yeah, it was only for Adelaide.
Yeah, they split it for the sprint races, which was a good move. I wasn't sure whether they were doing it for the rest or not, but it looks like it'll be a combined split, so it'll be a full field of Porsches, probably 40, 50 plus at a guess. So make sure you tune in and check that one out. GD1 Civil War, Road Atlanta. I might have to have a bash at that one. Road Atlanta, definitely up there for. I don't know about you, Andrew, but as far as the list of favourite tracks, Road Atlanta for me is definitely right up there.
Road
And then
Atlanta
we got
is
Long
a
Beach.
cracker, but I struggle with the 2D dash.
Oh, in the GD1 cars.
Yeah, in the DD1 cars. They sound great, go great, but I don't know. There's just something about looking at the newer cars. They've just come so far with iRacing compared to what they were.
Yeah, that's a good point. That a lot of these, iRacing does a really good job of updating cars, updating tracks, and updating everything. But they, these older cars like the GD1s, I don't think they've got a lot of love, and they've still got a little bit of the old stuff in them. I mean, personally, I don't really notice the dash much, but I mean, having said that, there are some other cars that I just won't drive purely because of where the uprights are at blocks me vision, and I'll be like, well, no thanks. But but we look at it, we got the it to be confirmed whether the GD1s are going to be broadcast. That'll all depend on what time Joe gets home, I believe, and that'll be followed by a 48-lap IndyCar race at Long Beach. Now I can't imagine that being a smooth race. I think race control might have some work cut out for them in that 48-lap Long Beach race. I'm going to be sure to check that out. And obviously, we'll do the wheel spin for the Mountain Men on Saturday night. They'll do that for the broadcast during Friday night, I believe. Before we go, like I said, a little bit of a rookie at this. We better thank our club sponsors, Andrew, before we go.
Sharpie, we've still got another whole couple of days worth of racing to do, but I have just heard from Adam Lavis that the Porsche Cup is going to be split. So they will be separated again. So not sure when we're going to be broadcasting on the Thursday nights, but definitely.
Rightio. Yeah, there was a little bit of chatter. Whether that would happen or not, I wasn't sure. But thanks, Adam, for clearing that up for us. Be interesting to see what split we follow. So we look ahead to next week. The Monday night broadcast, we've got the Formula Renault from Nürburgring GP, followed by GD3 series at Hockenheim. 2 sprint races there. It looks like just 1 second. Looks like it'll be the platinum and the silver will be showing.
Platinum and the silver, and rumor has it there is a bit of rain on the forecast.
Oh, for Hockenheim.
For Hockenheim, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just add water. Actually, we last time we raced there, I believe it was wet, and I ended up bidding it at the hairpin. But I'll try not to do that next week. We got followed by committee choice. This one I'm excited about. We won't get a broadcast, but I definitely might have to make a video of this one. I'm pretty sure Greg Heaney will be right behind me. But the rally cross cars at Brands Hatch. I've done a little bit of rally cross there before. Now those rally cross cars are a hell of a lot of fun. So hopefully we can get a decent turnout to have a couple of heat races and have a good go at it. Then we're back here next Wednesday night for the BMW M Sport Cup at Oran Park. Now, speaking of two completely different tracks, so the BMWs were going to be going from Spa to Oran Park. I think it might be about a quarter of the length of Spa, so two completely different tracks, followed by the V8, again, like tonight, from Sebring International Raceway. So that's what we've got coming up ahead in the next 7 days. A lot there I'm really looking forward to. I will apologise. Look, I'm not as fluent with this broadcast stuff as what Zach is. I have ignored the comments a little bit. Another note I'll make for myself is to try and pay a bit more attention to the comments and give you guys a little bit of airtime. We'll just thank our sponsors. Thanks to Disruptive Labs, who have been a great partner of the club for a while now. Waste Options, I believe that's our mate. The name leads me now. Been a good supporter of GD. John, yep. Names are escaping me. But I know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Waste Options has been a great supporter of GD3 for several seasons now. Trophi.AI, who sponsor the Supercar series, and have been a great tool a lot of the drivers use. The merch store. Now I'm going to need to get into that merch store myself and update my gear. I've still got the Wilbundry Hotel on some of my merch, so I need to get that one updated. So any members watching, check out the store. Looks great. Flash Graphics. I made John Simpson at Flash Graphics. He does an excellent job with a lot of liveries and all the graphics, and takes him for his sport. And Andrew, I think I don't want to grade ourselves, but I think we've done all right. We've made it to the end without. If we ignore missing the end of the race, I think we've done all right.
I'll tell you what, we got to the end of this. That is better than I've done on a Monday night in the GT3 for about 4 weeks now. So,
nice.
You did well. We got through it, battled.
Yeah.
I don't think I stuffed up too much.
No, you did well. I think I remember the broadcast you're talking about when when you first started pushing the buttons, and look, I guess I'm a bit. It's a bit funny. The first broadcast race I ever won was in TCR, and I was watching the broadcast back, and the same thing happened. Is they I can't remember who was commentating at the time. It wasn't Zach, but same thing. The end of the race completely got missed in my one moment of glory of winning a broadcast race. So and then I've just done it myself. It's easy to do.
Excellent work. All right, well, let's wrap it up and call it a night. Thank you for calling the race. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you on Thursday night for the Formula V's and Porsche Cup.